What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Muscle Memory. My name is Malcolm, and today we have one of the most intelligent and really talented people in the wrestling business, and he doesn't even have to take any bumps. It's Josiah Williams. What's up, man?
Hey, I like that last part. I was gonna mess with you for the intelligent part, but the don't have to take any bumps, I'm good with that.
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, bro. Like, it's gonna be really crazy this Sunday because obviously I'm not sure what day this is coming out, but it's gonna be Hitsville USA, and you're gonna be a manager for a wrestling match. This is gonna be insane. It's gonna be yourself, and you're managing Chris Bey and Leon Ruff taking on the HitMakerZ. It's gonna be a wild time. Is this your first time ever managing a wrestling team and not necessarily like performing on a show in a musical aspect?
Yeah. This is definitely the first time. I'm used to kind of taking on a different persona because of theater my whole life and all that, but officially in the realm of professional wrestling, this is number one.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And like, also there's going to be a who you know is in the Battle Royal or coming in the Battle Royal. I'm going to be a part of that. How come we're not seeing you step into the ring?
I just feel like, I learned from Paul Heyman that you should try everything, right? You gotta be willing to try and learn and grow every way. But I also feel like I know my limits. And at least this time, I want to make sure that Chris and Leon are best represented as possible. I can't just be accidentally breaking my ankle or something crazy. I got to focus. So
for sure. I mean, I would hate to have to eliminate you like that. So I'm kind of happy you're not, because like I didn't want to do you like that, but I'm like, I kind of want to see you jump in the ring a little bit.
you had plans in your mind, like
in my mind, I was like, oh man, he's gonna rap and I'm gonna throw him out, just right in there. But now, man, it is what it is. I mean, we can both win in different aspects, so it's all good. But dude, you've been so busy in the world of wrestling. Obviously, Wrestle And Flow, the WWE, etc. Where was your start in wrestling? Like, did you start being a fan and then jumped into it, or you kind of just saw it one day? You're like, yeah, I'll rap about this. Why not?
Yeah, started out as a fan. I, middle school, kind of picked it up. I always knew about it, but I wasn't able to watch it at home.
Yeah.
Mom wasn't going for that. So when I was able to finally start watching it, it was, all right, now I can start getting into these characters that I know from the video games or that I know from like little cards and drawing, stuff like that. And then, let's say 2018, 2017, I started thinking about doing Wrestle And Flow, and I had these ideas, I put it to the side, put it on the shelf. And then one day I was like, I got to actually do this, because like I've been thinking about it for so long. And then it just, it took off from there.
That's amazing, man. And it seemed like your like trajectory of like going from Wrestle And Flow to like the WWE was like really quick. So like, what was that transition of going from like making these videos to like now getting contacted by these guys and actually wanting to like come in and like work for them?
Yeah, it happened really quickly. So like I was already putting out music on my own as a hip hop artist, and then later on as a Christian hip hop artist. So like I had a very small following at the time. So just for me, as I'm putting out music, I had to take a break and like clear my head and not just focus on that for a little while. So I wanted to do something different and something special, which is what Wrestle And Flow was. Yeah. I put out that first video, and all the guys in the Undisputed Era saw it, shared it, posted it on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, etc. And WWE contacted me almost right away. Initially, it was just, hey, you're doing these videos, we want to support you with some like shirts and things that you can wear that kind of promote those superstars as well. And that never actually happened. It just turned into, well, what would you want to do long term, and how can we kind of leverage that from a digital aspect? So within a couple of months, I had an audition for Monday Night Raw, and then I had another one for NXT, and 8 or so months later, I'm at WrestleMania. It was crazy.
That's insane, man. Like just that transition, like making these videos to like bada boom, here's WrestleMania for you. Like that's wild. And when you're making these videos, how much time that was put into like making the video, as far as like, because it wasn't just like great music, it was also really good editing as well. So like how much time was put into like these remixes?
Thanks, man. It was a week. So like I was putting out videos every Friday, for the most part. And then like if it wasn't like a music video, then it was like a question and answer, or like some sort of like interaction type video. But yeah, within a week's time, you know, I'm writing, recording, sending it out to get mixed, and then doing all the video editing on my own. And of course, like as I'm writing, you know, I might be working on Bianca Belair's, you know, lyrics, but I'm also writing for Kenny Omega and Samoa Joe, and like just little lines that come into my head to complete at another point. So like, yeah, I would say it's about a week turnaround in full for one of those videos.
What were you doing before you were making like these YouTube videos and like the whole entire Wrestle Flow in general? Was it still like making your own music and then just having life before that? Like, what were you into like right before you just blew up in wrestling?
Yeah, so my music was just something on the side. Definitely not a full-time gig or anything like that. It was just what I love to do. Full-time, I was working for local city government. Like I just had a regular day job, you know what I mean? And then outside of, so like I had my day job, I was making music, and then I was also a announcer for college basketball.
Okay.
So that was kind of like, as I was having those conversations with WWE, like, yeah, you know, I've been a theater student my whole life, been in plays, I've been acting, doing commercials and stuff. And then I have experience as a live announcer, just in a different sport.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 5 years before joining WWE as well.
Wow. And like, you say you did theater before. What was like the most interesting role you ever played?
The most interesting role. There's a musical theater show called Sideshow.
Okay.
And I had this like weird, like, cause you know, it's all, they say it's the freaks, right? Come look at the freaks. So I did this thing where I like popped up out of the ground like Rey Mysterio in a way, with like, I was this like wild, I don't even know how to explain it, but I was out there basically in like a diaper and like, you know, being held back and all types of stuff. That's one. And then we had this show called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And the show, like, it has a script that you know, that we read and follow, whatever, but like a big part of it was improv. So we would call people out from the audience to actually spell the words. Like it was a live spelling bee.
Okay.
So I had to, you know, give people different words and just come up with stuff on the spot sometimes. And that was also pretty fun too.
It sounds like, what was like the, if you remember, what was like the hardest word someone had to spell? Or was it all just like simple stuff like dog?
I don't remember one. There was one word that I had for sure, because you know it's like timed out to a certain extent of like, okay, give somebody an easy word like cow or dog. Right. And then there are certain things that go with the story that you have to have you have to get this one wrong. There was one time where, so like I had two hard words. One of them I don't remember because it was like something ridiculous. Like there's no way anybody would get it right. Yeah. But the one right before that was Mama Say Mama Sa Mama Kusa from Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
This dude came up, and I remember this to this day. His name is Cree, and he spelled it right. Like he spelled it absolutely correctly. So I had to go to my backup card like after that, but we were all sitting there like, no way. He like did this out in his head and spelled it correctly. It was crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like M and then just, just give up. It's like, there's no way. But once you get signed and like brought into WWE, was like any of those like theme songs that you made, obviously outside Undisputed Era, because we all saw a takeover, was any of those songs ever like pitched to actually be used for the main roster talent or even NXT talent?
Yeah. So of course the Undisputed Era one, there was talks of like recording that officially, or doing kind of like, for example, like Shinsuke Nakamura had his actual theme, but then different versions of it that came out, like the violin version, the electric version. So like there was talks of that. Aside from that one, Ricochet.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that was one. He pitched that multiple times. I pitched it multiple times. We thought about doing something live with it. Like there were a lot of really cool ideas. But that was what was really dope about, especially being in NXT, because it was seen as the brand where you can try different things. Even if it didn't happen, they were at least like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if it's something that we can make happen. So yeah, there were a couple of cool ones, but definitely Ricochet and Undisputed Era.
were we ever going to see you on like an NXT television show or like main roster show as an actual like personality?
Yeah. So I trained with Kathy Kelly to be the backstage interviewer for NXT when we went live.
Okay.
Kind of a blessing in disguise. And I guess, I don't know if I want to say curse, but like the day that we went live, because NXT used to be taped, right? Yeah. They used to have like the tapings where they would do a bunch of shows at once. Well, going live, they didn't have commercial breaks and they weren't used to that. So Triple H was sitting there and he's like, man, wouldn't it be dope if we had somebody to go out and like, kind of engage with the crowd and keep the story going. And it was like a scene from a movie. He was sitting there, him, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, who all was in there? Michael Cole.
Wow.
Mauro Ranallo. And they all just kind of like looked. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. Which, I mean, I didn't, it wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but I had this like strong ambition to be the backstage interviewer, right? Yeah. So I ended up doing that. And of course, they brought in a couple of other people, Kat Marino, Johnny Quasto, to do some of the backstage interview roles. And then I did a few, but it was mostly digital. So like after the match, and you would see it on YouTube or Twitter or whatever. And then there were two other things. So right before COVID, like the week before, I started as the announcer for NXT, or the backstage interviewer for NXT UK. Okay. And then, so, we did like 4 shows. I come back and then COVID hits. Yeah. So that changed everything. But I at least got to do it, for a few shows. So that was dope. So that was going to happen if I was going to be the guy over there. And then we also had a show that was gonna like kind of like NXT 2.0 before it became NXT 2.0. I think it was pitched as like NXT Evolve or something like that. And
is it kind of like NXT Level Up in a way?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So what's now NXT Level Up was going to be, it was going to look different. It was going to be a completely different format. But I was going to be the ring announcer and the backstage interviewer for that show. And then of course, life happens. Yeah, there were a lot of really, really cool possibilities. And like I said, the good thing of being there is you try it all. Like I got to perform, I got to be a backstage interviewer. I did some announcing for local shows in like, Orlando, Largo, all the like Florida loop shows. So I got a chance to try it all, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's still pretty amazing though. There's so many like different roles in WWE. And how often did you see guys like they kind of like cycle through new people? Like some people just come in, they do a role and kind of like leave. Like, was there a lot of like cycling out like different talents and different personalities?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even like, for example, just top of my head, since we're talking about Sunday, AJ Francis, Brianna and them, they had been there for about a year or so. And then once they got on TV as Hit Row, they were only on NXT for a couple of months, and then next thing you know, they're on SmackDown, right? So like, there is that cycle of sometimes either the main roster, there's a spot that needs to be filled, or there's an opportunity that's there, they want to try something different. Of course, that also in comparison, right? Johnny Gargano was there for 6 years or something like that. So like
the entirety.
Yeah. It just kind of depends on the person, the situation. Even from a backstage view, some of the guys who were there with me from like a social media or filming and editing, like some of them would go up and come down. Like there was a lot of kind of trade-off with NXT. So it was really cool to be around, and I got a chance to meet a lot of really cool people and then just grow and work with different people too.
For sure. And like, has your perspective on WWE changed ever since like the release and whatnot? Because I know some people have like mixed feelings about the WWE. Like some people enjoy it, some people don't necessarily have the best view of it after they leave. So what was like your perspective on the company as like from a business aspect and maybe personal as well?
Yeah, I feel like, of course, a lot of us didn't leave on like our own terms. But I tell people all the time, man, especially right now, man, I'm thankful for the experience, because I could be upset and frustrated about like, man, I didn't get to leave the way that I wanted to leave, or I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. But at the same time, I was able to do it, right? I could still be back in Illinois at my day job where I was there, doing something completely different and wishing and wondering what it was like to get to WWE. And, you know, there's still the other side of it too, where now I'm able to collaborate with AEW and have theme songs and, you know, Impact and AAA and like all these other places. So it's like, I'm thankful for it. And yes, I do wish it would have went differently, but a lot of cool things have kind of happened as a result. And, you know, from a professional standpoint and from a personal, like you said, like now I'm able to be home with my family. And, you know, we both have our first child, you know, in September on the way. So like, I'll be able to be here on a day-to-day basis to experience that and grow with that and not feel like, dang, I'm on the road or like I'm at a show at 12, you know what I mean, at night. So there's some ups and downs. And I think, I guess, to answer your question a little bit more directly, as far as like the product, I don't watch a whole lot anymore. Like I keep up with what's on Twitter and Instagram because I see it. So I feel like I know what the storylines are across, and not just WWE, like across multiple companies. Like I feel like I'm keeping up because of social media. But my wife isn't really like a wrestling fan, and I put her through that for so long that I'm like, all right, I can take a break, you know what I mean? And not have to watch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and pay-per-views on the weekend. Like I'll just keep up from a distance and support how I can.
Yeah, it's definitely can be a lot. If like you're not even into wrestling, it's like, why do you keep watching this stuff? Like it's not even real. Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, it's so much too. Like, okay, so think about it like this: when I'm working for WWE, not only is it my job, like during the day, right? Yeah. I'm editing, I'm filming, I'm working on, you know, memorizing stuff. But then outside of my actual day job, I still have to watch Raw and SmackDown and Main Event and 205 Live and NXT.
Ooh, Main Event, wow, I forgot about that one.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much programming, the bump. There's so much that you have to keep up with. So when May 2021 comes around and I'm no longer employed, it's like, okay, man, I don't have to watch right now. Like, oh, okay. So I did resort to that for a little bit, and I'll tune in to certain things like, you know, special shows, special moments. But for the most part, I just try to keep up with social media and just enjoy from a distance.
For sure. And like you have like a series on YouTube of like Hire Josiah Williams, and you were calling The Rock and calling Tony Khan and whatnot. How close were you to see you actually joining another promotion or joining like this other wrestling related, I guess, corporation, I guess?
Yeah. So the good thing about, I guess I'll speak for myself in my situation, like I treated people with respect, treated people with love. So immediately after I got let go, Malachi Black called, and we were already working on some stuff at WWE, like with his new character and with Zelina returning. We were doing like a little documentary and separately, but after he then got let go a week after that, so he was trying to advocate for me to come back to WWE of like, yo, why did you guys let him go? You know, here's his work, here's what he's been doing. But then he got let go right after that. So we started working on a couple of projects. And he is one of the people that introduced me to Tony Khan and a lot of the talent backstage at AEW. And the same thing goes for Leo Rush. Leo brought me in a couple of times. Mark Henry advocated for me a lot. So like the door was very much so open. Cody asked me if I wanted a job there, and he connected me with, he connected me with Kevin Sullivan and their video studio and team there. So the opportunities were crazy, especially like as for AEW. I think what it came down to is just realizing like, I want to be able to contribute and I want to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. But I knew from what I had been talking about with my wife that like, I want to be able to be here for my family at the same time.
Of course.
So like, I kind of put that as my priority, and I've been able to do fun stuff and like contribute to, you know, for the music and for promo packages and filming and editing, you know, here and there, even now. but I decided, at least for now, you know what, I want to be able to be a part of my family on a day-to-day basis. And it was tough, like, because it would have been, you know, of course, cool to be hanging out with, you know, AEW every week and doing some of that, but I know what's kind of best for me and my family right now. So sacrifices got to be made, but it's always worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, that's definitely the perfect answer you can give. And I guess like my next question was like, what kind of stuff were you into outside of just like wrestling? Because I mean, obviously, like, there's a big wrestling bubble, but there's also lots of life outside of it as well.
Yeah. Outside of wrestling, of course, I'm a big fan of music. I listen to music constantly on the way to work, from work. Love Pokemon. Like, big Pokemon guy. Still play Pokemon Go to this day. Still collect the cards. And then just like your typical Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, you know, different series. We just finished up Stranger Things. We're getting back into the Umbrella Academy. Boys, like, there's a bunch of different series that I like.
The Boys, that's a wild show. That's a wild show. Something you should check out. It's a really dumb show. You'd be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's called Ultimatum. It's on Netflix. Yo, just watch. Have you seen it?
No, but somebody was telling me about that. It's kind of like a reality show thing.
Yeah,
right?
It's like a reality show. Like, it's so dumb that you'll love it. You'll be like, this is the worst thing I've ever watched. I need to see the next episode. Like, you'll love it, promise. Or like The Circle is also a really good one on Netflix as well. Solid show. Definitely should check it out.
I feel like the only one that, because I'm not a huge like reality show person, but we did get into, like, last year, 90 Days In.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that before.
And I was like, I don't know why we're watching this, but play the next episode right now.
Sometimes you gotta just find something random. It's like, all right, we're watching this, and like, all right, this is horrible, but I kind of want to finish it, you know? But who's on the playlist right now?
Oh man, there's so much. I'm a big fan of Lucky Day.
Okay.
And I say, I mean, it's like this whole new wave of R&B. Kevin Ross, Lucky Day, Adekunle Gold, who else? Snow Allegra, of course, like Kendrick, Drake, from a rap standpoint. But I'm also, you know, I'm a big Christian hip hop guy. So like Andy Mineo, KB, Lecrae, a lot of those guys. So R&B, rap, hip hop, and then like pop, classic pop, new pop. So whether it's NSYNC or all the way to like Jax Jones today, like I have a very wide range of music that, you know, kind of spreads across. So
that's cool. That's cool. I like my music genres are so like spread apart, as in, like, they're so different. It's like hip hop and then just country, nowhere close. And then just K-pop, nowhere close. So it's like all these like random music always comes on like my playlist and whatnot.
So then let me ask you this, because I'm not too like crazy into country. I think the last person that I listened to was Kane Brown.
Okay.
He had like this live, Spotify does this thing where they record stuff live.
Yeah.
And he did something with, he remixed or he covered Bruno Mars, which I thought was super, super dope. But from a country standpoint, like if there is anyone, who would you recommend for me to listen to?
Chris Stapleton's definitely a good one. He made like Tennessee Whiskey. That's a solid one. It's a bit slow though, so you gotta be in the mood. You're like, all right, I'm going through my feels. Let me listen to this.
Yeah.
Darius Rucker, obviously that's a solid one to go to. Wagon Wheel, like, just solid songs. So mainly those two come to mind off the top of my head. This guy named, I want to say Bailey Zinnerman is his last name, but he's also really good. I might be forgetting his name, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay.
Those three for sure, man. But talking about the show on Sunday, I mean, like, you're gonna be a manager. Brianna's also gonna be a manager in the match as well. How are you gonna make sure that Hit Row doesn't, or not Hit Row, but HitMakerZ actually don't, you know, try to sneak a win on your guys?
Well, first of all, I'm so confident in both Leon and Chris.
Oh yeah.
That there will be no sneaking a win. number 1, 2, and 5. Like, it's not happening. So, I mean, we've not only do they have the power of the HitMakerZ, and, you know, you can also argue that from a distance somewhere, somehow, Swerve is like sending them good vibes. You know what I mean? We can do that. But for us, I mean, the Bullet Club is a very strong, solid foundation and organization.
Oh yeah.
So while Swerve's doing his thing, I feel myself right now taking over the power of the Switchblade. So they can do whatever they want to and have their fun and have their moment, SCW. But July 3rd, I can guarantee you that I don't have to do too much because Leon and Chris are taking this thing. I just know that for a fact.
But if like they try to cheat at all, you're gonna jump in there? You gonna help your boys out?
I'll do what I have to do.
I think you could clothesline AJ Francis.
Now, I know
he's not that
like
tall. He's only like 6 billion foot tall. Like he's not that big.
Right.
Yeah, like you can do it.
Just a few 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying?
Just a few. Yo, like I did a video with him once, and like I picked him up from the airport. He got in my Jeep, and the car kind of said "badunk," but you know it's okay. It's okay. He's not that big. Like I'm pretty sure you can tackle him on site.
It's like when Cena picked up Big Show.
Yeah, it's like that. I see no difference. Maybe like Black Edition, but like there's like no difference.
You know what? Here's what I'm saying. You know, I may or may not be able to clothesline Frank, AJ Francis.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got a mean super kick or a mean drop kick in me just one good time if I need it.
And I think Tahuti can eat that one too. Like I think it's possible.
Oh yeah, both of them.
Possible for sure, man.
Both of them.
Josiah, this has been great, man. Where can they find you all over social media?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you for having me, man. This has been dope. Yeah, check me out at J Dean Williams or Wrestle and Flow. That's across all social media platforms, and of course on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to music. Check it out on either one of those profiles.
Guys, there you go. That's Josiah Williams. This is Muscle Mary. My name is Malcolm. Make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe. And we're out.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze.